All right, good evening. 12-Bit Soul back with another IG Live. Want to welcome everybody who's going to be joining in. Got J57 here tonight from Brown Bag All-Stars, also from Jamo Gang. So he's going to be tuning in. Patrick, always a pleasure. Yes. Couple things. So any questions you guys have tonight, feel free to tune in, ask. It's going to be kind of interesting with Jay tonight because a lot of times when he and I get together, it's more of a kind of a casual thing, more of a hello, Lane, more of a friendship thing than a music thing. So tonight's going to be the music thing. So I just got off the phone with him. He should be joining live here anytime soon. So I just want to. But I want to welcome everybody for tuning in tonight. I'm on a secret location tonight, so I don't have my usual backdrop. So I don't think the glare's too bad tonight. So I think we're all right. But yeah, and it's kind of a nice change of pace because just thank you, Sarah. I'm working on my summer color here. So that's why I look tan. Probably look like I have a little bit of rest too, maybe. I don't know. But a couple things we're working on. We've got a new Native Instruments project coming soon, really soon. So I just want to let you know we've been working on that. As far as the 12-Bit Soul Camp, we've got our Akai expansion that should be coming out within the next month. I say that without anything specific, but I want you to be on the lookout for that. Also, make sure you head over to the site to looking for new sound kits, new sounds in your arsenal. Head over that way. Fuel up, definitely. Let's see, what else? I think that's kind of the main thing. And I told you, I'm like, make sure you're on the 12-Bit Soul IG Live, not MPC Cinema. I don't know. Any questions tonight? Any 12-Bit Soul business you want to know? Feel free to type it in. Let's see. Trying to think. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. It's kind of crazy times. So definitely. And I was always curious. One of these days, I was going to have to run a monologue on the IG Live, and maybe tonight's that night where. Yeah, I run the monologue. So no, but we're waiting on Jay. He should be in momentarily because literally I got off the phone with him at 8:57. So, yeah, p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, we're good. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Any questions you have while you're on there waiting, anticipating Mr. J57? Sarah, besides me looking tan, any other questions for this evening? Love to know them. Lane, Divided Souls, Patrick, Vincent Dubs, very dope name, by the way. So, yes. Any questions, feel free to hit me up. Thanks, Sarah. You're really adding value this evening. I do appreciate you. Any insight? I'm balancing production company and running a. I'll tell you, it was funny. I was just thinking about that today. It was like, you watch all these podcasts and the do-it-yourselfers and everybody that has these grandiose pictures of doing music and what it's like. It's just, it's not that easy, and you still gotta look at it as a job. Like, I mean, you still got to grind. You still got to put the time in like anything. So let's, and as far as balance, I don't even know. I don't know, probably not the best person to ask, being divorced. So, yes, I think there's been a lot of casualties to professional pursuits. But we'll get to that later. J57, let's bring him in. And we will ask him too. Man, really, dude? Is that what we're doing tonight?
I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
Hey, as long as your internet works, I don't really give a shit. I mean, I mean that lovingly.
I respect it. What up, my dude?
Man, I was just telling everybody on my monologue. You know, I kind of felt like I was, you know, Conan or Fallon or something for a second. It was like I don't even know what to say. Like when you and I get together, it's not even like it's music stuff, but it's not music stuff.
Yeah. I know.
You know, and I was kind of laughing. I forgot who I was telling. I think I was telling Audible Doctor this. And I know I was telling my buddy Al, our mutual friend Al Lindstrom, and I was saying, dude, we reconnected in a grocery store.
Mad funny.
And not even, and I know we're not going to get into too much personal stuff. We both talking about that, but I had to laugh. Like, I've got the empty cart going in the store. You're like stocked up, and this is pre-Corona. You're stocked up with Corona-size grocery basket, and then literally I'm driving my cart, you're driving your cart, and I'm like, and we just look up at each other, and we're in a freaking grocery store.
Yeah, mad funny.
So yeah, it's just life's a trip, and then you know, shout out to the 50-cent shrimp night, which we'll be reliving. You know, we're gonna be
ASAP.
I tell you, man.
ASAP.
Can it get any better than 50-cent shrimp?
No, dude. And you know, because remember we used to do, instead of like a bat signal, it used to be the shrimp emoji, just to be like, yo, let's get up.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, it's in that they need a bigger shrimp though for that evening though. They need
but you gotta tell them. You gotta tell the people what kind of shrimp we're talking about. Because it's not just
because when it's there's a spot by us, and just so you guys know, we're both on location. I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it all secretive. But there's a place by me and Jay. They do 50-cent shrimp night, and these things come out screaming hot. That hot barbecue, hot sauce, whatever it is that they make there, they roll the shrimp around in them. The blue cheese they make there, fresh. I'm salivating as we speak, and we just it's like you can't get enough of them. I mean, it's just what is that? Oh.
These things are banging, bro. I just got like watermelon, pink lemonade today. This one is blueberry bliss. Sugar dose.
Or
was that?
Is it CBD or
no? This is straight up.
No,
this will get you so high you can't even walk.
Great. So I have a feeling we're gonna have a fantastic IG live tonight as a result.
Yeah, I just ate one. So let's go.
Well, of course, hey, shout out to Circuit Brand. Anytime that the cannabis pops up, I know he's a big fan right there. Not to air my dude out, but and shout out to all the 12-bit soul guys checking in, Brent and Pat and CB. But man, yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, dude, I was going back through your catalog today, and I've criminally slept on everything.
Wow,
I just want to share.
That's like a tremendous compliment, to be honest. It's like saying it that way. You know what I mean? Like that means like, damn, you did a lot of shit and it's really good. That's what you're saying.
Well,
I really respect it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I was going through the Spotify list today, and you actually have quite a bit up there. You know, compared to probably a lot of artists.
Well, hold on.
Going through.
Hold on. I just gotta say the one thing though, because this is like crazy shit. I have more songs out right now in 2020 than there's been days.
Okay, I saw you post that, man. Explain that a little bit, dude.
Period. That's what. So
you got that many songs out just this year or total?
This year? Oh no, this year. I already exceeded last year's amount of songs by like fucking 40, and I did close to 200 last year.
So, dude, okay, I'm gonna do some rough math. If we're 6 months in some change.
Sure.
So 6 times 30 is 180. Let's add on. We'll tack on another 10 just for good measure. You've got that many songs. You got 100.
I got over 200 songs right now, and I dropped a 11 song album on the fucking 23rd. But that's a surprise. You're not supposed to know.
Thanks for sharing, though, man. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you know what? And I wrote down a bunch of questions, and because I still have that kind of geeky journalist like tendency in me. But so how are you able to be so prolific? Like seriously, man. Like that's a lot of music to just drop in 1 year.
Yeah, and I haven't even I haven't dropped the real shit yet. No offense to anything I've dropped. Jamo Gang, Shabam, those are real records. Don't get me wrong. My instrumental
There.
projects are real records too. But I haven't dropped the J57 rapping on my own beats shit. I haven't dropped any of that. I was supposed to drop one of them today as a surprise,
Right.
but it was just, it's not the climate to be dropping fucking records and be like, everybody celebrate how great I am. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm pushing that off. But and my man Rick Chavez, who's part of my label, he runs the label, the collective, everything. He's in here saying, in the last 2 years, we're shy of 600 records that came out, songs, you know, through our label, 57 Collective.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, to answer your question, man, I think the reason I'm prolific is because I love it so much. I'm disciplined. I have like crazy work ethic, but I also have a crazy team around me that makes it actually fucking possible to do it. You know, shouts to Rick, shouts to my pops who helps with the business management so I don't fucking fuck anything up. You know, shouts to Mark Ski who helps with the website, my assistant Vaughn who helps out so much, my cousin Vic who's a part of the team. But it's a whole team. So it's like, I think it's my work ethic and my love for this shit, but the fact that I could actually put it out really in a good way and get it out there.
You know, and I think that's important because a lot of times I think people want to keep the pot to themselves. You know, like they don't want to split and break bread. And I think a lot of times people are missing opportunities. So
100%.
So talk a little bit about that, because that record you did with Rick was crazy too. I was, you know, scrolling through that joint today and I was like, this is dope.
Yo, I appreciate
just talk about all the collaborations, like the strength in collaboration.
Oh, and like the Rick one, just to add on to that, like those were all joints that he started himself. He produced majority of that record and then sent me the stems and I gave it my ear and I co-produced and like added post-production, if you will, to every single track. Did a bunch of drops, did it the J57 way at times. Don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of records where I just made the shit hit harder or something. But like, because I've been doing it longer, that's the only reason. But like, we could work that way. We could work like my man, Dr. Doppler. We just released an instrumental record. We didn't really push it that heavy yet because of the, you know, all the crazy injustice in the fucking country and the world and all that shit.
Yeah,
but
our
shit was a little different. So and this is something I think you'll dig with Dr. Doppler. What I proposed to him was, yo, let me send you just gigs and gigs of J57 samples and drum breaks and drums that I've created from scratch. And you flip those and it'll be a Dr. Doppler / J57 record. And he did that shit in like a few months. It took him just to flip all my samples and we put that out. You know what I mean? So,
but see, that is dope. You know,
I like that. I like working that way.
No, and I think that's a good way to do it, where you're just providing, you know, you're providing the content and then they provide their vision as well to your content.
A real collaboration. And I'd rather split it. Like to your point before, man, I'd rather split that shit. I'd rather me and Rick drop a record. Okay, cool. Let's split the writing and publishing. Done. You know, me and Doppler, same thing. Writing and publishing, go. One song gets 8 million streams, let's say, and we just split that money up where everyone wins. You know, I'm not going to do the fake fucking that Diddy shit where they like own your writing and publishing. I'm not going to snake people out of that shit. It's like, yo, let's split this up and let's win together. You know what I mean?
You're not charging $60,000 for their video to just bury it back into their budget. Oh, wait, sorry, that happened. But
yeah, no, I'm not.
No, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And it's nice to see the collaboration and everything. But dude, let's do this. Let's rewind a little bit. So tell everybody who J57 is. Why don't we just zip, run it back a little bit?
Okay, yeah, I'm J57. I'm an MC producer, born and raised in New York. I started out working at Fat Beats Records in New York City at the store. Was in a group called Brown Bag All Stars that we started. We all worked at the store together. Man, there's a lot of talented people in our crew, so it's just like, it got us going, man. It got us out there, and the Brown Bag era, you know. And after that, it was just, we're still doing Brown Bag records that are coming out, but you know, everyone's kind of doing their solo thing at the same time. And I don't even want to miss anything, but like, you know, I was a part of Rap Is Out of Control on Sirius for like 6 years with DJ Eclipse, which was fire, you know, being a part of that. I linked up with DJ Premier in like 2011. He kind of took me under his wing and like looked out in a lot of different ways, like teaching me things and like help and having me help him, I guess, with my ear, being like a younger guy that's doing this shit. He likes what I was doing. And even as an MC too, like that's what it started with. He didn't even know I made beats. He liked me as an MC first. So it was like, that was the Premier, you know, shit where I'd be in the studio with him all the time. Jamo Gang, we started, me, Razkaz, and Elgant. It's a 3-man group where I'm just on the beats. I rap on a couple joints though, but I wanted to just be a producer. So Jamo Gang, we just dropped our album on Fat Beats Records. Thank you, man. super full circle. And then, you know, 2 years ago, we started the label 57 Collective and, you know, through Soul Spasm Distribution. And it's a dream come true, man. It really is. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where we are now. Like me, I am more known for the production side to some people. They don't even know I rap maybe because they saw me do a beat for this guy or that person or whatever. And they're surprised when they hear that I rap or some shit. And then there's people who don't even know that I have those placements and they know me from Brown Bag where they don't even know I make beats and they think I'm just a rapper. So it's like a weird, which is a smaller amount of people compared to the production credits, but it's a weird kind of thing. So I've been working very hard on the past few years, just releasing more material with me rapping, mostly on my own beats. That's been like the main goal, main focus, because I love both equally. I love MCing just as much as making beats. And before it was the other way around. I did like making beats more, but now it's the same. It's been that way for a lot of years now. So I'm just kind of going hard with it, you know, just in the studio. I'm not gonna lie, man, like a lot of 12 to 14-hour days, just going hard. And this is what you get out of it. You just got a lot of work.
Well, and that's what I was telling people. That's what I was explaining before you, you know, you got on, was people got to understand. Look at my lovely basement there.
Love it.
You got to love it, right? And so what I'm saying is, like, explain to people, and Brent asked this question earlier, explain to people how you balance, you know, your production duties with your everyday life stuff, because, you know, there's a lot of it that's just not that sexy, contrary to what people want to hear. You know what I'm saying?
God. Yeah, you're right. Well, first of all, that's why you got to have a good team around you, because there's a lot of shit I don't want to do. And my man, Rick Chavez, comes up and he's like, yo, let me do that. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just different people that are doing different shit that I don't want to do anymore or don't want to do at all. And I'm capable of doing things, not as good. Rick is a Army fucking veteran who's, you know, done tours of Iraq and Afghanistan. Like, he's disciplined on another level, you know, so salute to him, of course. So it's like, we have a crazy discipline, you know, kind of whatever work ethic on, you know, on the team. And then, so I'm really schedule based, you know what I mean? I do everything by schedules. I live off of the fucking Google Calendar. I'm starting to work on not having as many alarms set on my iPhone where I just hear that annoying ringing that makes you want to like run and throw the phone off a balcony or some shit. So like, I really do go by that. I really do live like I don't wake up and go on social media. I stopped doing that years ago. I don't go on email either. I stopped doing that years ago because it'll fuck up my focus. So I wake up, meditate, maybe work out, maybe if I'm not intermittent fasting, I'll eat something, whatever, hit the studio because I'm feeling inspired. You know what I mean? That's just me. So if you're feeling inspired, fucking hit the lab early, get in there all day until you start feeling like shot, then go fucking relax, hang out with the fam, hang out with your friends, watch some TV, Netflix, whatever the fuck, and then hit the studio again if you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or just
right. Give your family what's left in the tank, but give your music everything that's in the tank.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying though. So, but let me ask you this: what made you? What point did you get to say, "Yo, I can do this full time. Like this is my career."
Man, that shit was hard to get there. I don't know. I can't really call. I'll tell you this: like when Fat Beats closed September 2010, I mean, I wasn't like thriving off of Fat Beats money. No offense to them. It's like I was a kid working at a fucking record store, getting cash. You know what I'm saying? Like getting whatever amount of money in cash. Like I just did it for the love of the store and the connections I ended up making and all that and learning and whatever. Like it was really just for the, you know, being a part of Fat Beats. So after that shit closed, man, like it did fuck me up money wise because it closed pretty quickly and I didn't have any money saved. And, you know, 10 years ago and Brown Bag was starting to pop a little bit, but we didn't really do it yet. It was definitely a few more years till it was like when the major label motherfuckers started emailing me for beats and this and that. It was only because I didn't give up during that hard ass time, like living off credit cards and eating fucking whatever was $1 at a fucking bodega down the block in Brooklyn, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like basically like borderline, like not being able to leave the bed. I was so depressed sometimes, but I love music so much. I would just make that shit and like be like, you know, not use my fucking college degree to go get a job. No offense to anybody who does that shit. I'm talking about for me though, just for me. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't. I'd rather die than fucking not do this music shit as a job. And you know, and I'm just I'm so lucky to have such a great team and support system. You know what I'm saying? And I just you know what it is, man. Being broke for so long, I had to think smarter. You know, work smarter, not harder, and just think a little more clearer about like what I wanted and how to obtain what I need. You know what I mean? Because again, you know, Fat Beats era was dope. That was really fucking amazing. But when that store closed 10 years ago, you know, for a few years I was fucked up. Like, I was really broke and all that shit, and that shit sucked. And then once I got a taste of not being broke, I was like, I'm never going back to that fucking shit. I'm never going back to that.
No.
And I'm going to help all my little homies so that they never know what it feels like fully to go through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the younger kids I'm mentoring from New York, LA, Atlanta, you know, they're all in their, like, the late teens, early 20s, incredible artists. They're going to be running the game in the next 5 years. There's no doubt about it. Man, I'll tell you, I help them. I literally sit down with them and set up their ASCAP for writing and publishing. I teach them how to do all that shit. Shouts to DJ Element and Greg Cody, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I sit down, I teach them all that shit. So it's like, once I started and then, you know, I learned all that kind of stuff, and, you know, streaming sucks, but at the same time, it pays a lot of my fucking bills. I'm grateful as fuck to even be able to say that shit. And that's just streaming. That's, no pun, that's one stream of income. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have multiple streams of income in the music game from your music or not. And, yeah, man, that's it. Once I got a taste of like a brolic ass paycheck or a check from business for music, I was like, I literally was like, I'm never going back to that broke shit ever again. I'm going to help everybody I can, except for people I hate. Starve, motherfucker.
I mean, I think that's fair. You know, if you have to have, like, standards and limitations, that's lenient. You know what I'm saying, dude? So, no, but I mean, I think that's what a lot of people, you know, because a lot of people hear about streams of income. So how would you describe, you know, because in this day and age, like I tell people, I think it's easier to make money now than it's ever been. However, it's not as easy maybe as it once was, where you get that massive windfall payoff, you know, as it may have been in the 90s and 2000s. So what, as far as streams of income, kind of describe how you go about that in your own world.
Yeah. I mean, you know, just a few of them are like streaming money from, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of Tidal, who's fucking, they owe my label like a ton of money by now, probably. They don't pay. Tidal doesn't pay anybody.
Wait. As much as Tidal gets touted as being the artist's best friend and all that bullshit, they're not paying, huh?
Oh, facts. This is all fact. And, like, dude, this is like actual fact. This is not like my one instance. You know, like, they pay more. Spotify pays dick, and then Apple Music pays double that, and then Tidal pays triple that. These are facts. That's dope. And Spotify's crunched, shitty MP3 sound wise. Apple Music is a really good quality MP3, and then Tidal is waves. So the wave is exponentially better sound quality. So it's the best sound, and it pays the artist the most. These are just facts. It's not opinion. The only thing is, when you're not, like, I'm through my label 57 Collective is through Soul Spasm Distribution. I'm not fucking Atlantic Records. I'm not Universal. So Jay-Z's a billionaire. He is a GOAT. You know what I mean? But no, I gotta say, man, Tidal is flat. Cool. It's actually, that's the same thing, I'm pretty sure. Same quality. So basically, they're paying all the big guys. They're not paying the little indie guys and shit. They're just holding off. It's been like 2 years since they paid my distribution. Not even just for me, but like everybody that's on there. And they got a couple bigger labels in mind. Like Fat Beats is on there. You get what I'm saying? So they're not. So these are just facts, man. This is not opinion. You know what I'm saying?
No, and it's not necessarily, you know, and it's not about bad mouthing somebody, but I think everybody needs to be careful when one of the major streaming services gets touted as the best payer, if you will. Yeah. And then it's great. I could be the best payer too, but if I'm not paying you, who cares?
Then who cares, bro? Like, right? Like, yo, Spotify sucks, but they pay. Spotify fucking sucks for artists. That is the rapiest, and I hate to use that word, but there's not a better word. They're the rapiest ones out of all of them. SoundCloud's obviously the worst because they don't even pay like at all. But Spotify's the fucking worst. They make billions and billions and billions of dollars a month, and you get a fraction of a penny for a stream. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And somebody said, "Where's the lawsuit for Tidal?" No, that's dope. That's dope. It's cool. We're gonna get that money. It's all good. I'm not like fucking hurting over it or anything like that. Luckily, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying that those are just real facts. You know what I mean? So
no, but it's money you're owed, though, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that shit. It's me. It's me. I got a team, bro. I got great lawyers.
I know you.
But But I was just letting people know that in case they don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just good to know. It is really good to know if you're an artist and you're out there or you're in the business. But yeah,
well, you know, and I think that's what a lot of people think too about streaming is, you know, they feel like it's almost like a version of Field of Dreams in a sense where, you know, if you put it out, they will come and stream. And then if they do that, you know, the checks away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Why don't you talk a little bit about the streaming? Like where does an artist really start seeing some noticeable income off streams?
Man, all right. So you know what helped me a lot was I had a song with Action Bronson early on. that helped a little something back in the day. You know what I mean? He got signed to a major and all that shit. And I thought he was dope way before anybody. He had like fucking 300 plays.
Yeah.
You're like 300 plays on his MySpace and shit, for real. Yeah. But then, you know, years and years later, like that Spotify shit really does come up. You know what I mean? It's actually not even in my top 10 most streamed songs now, but for a long time it was. And so if you get a big ass feature or whatever, luckily I was just homies with him. He did it for free, and DJ Element was there for that shit. It was at his crib. But you know, yeah, shouts to Element, shouts to Mayhem Loren, who brought Bronson to the session.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know, and he's on the song too. That kind of shit helps a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good way for an artist to get out there. I would definitely say, you know, do some shit like that. Like, that'll get your song on some bigger shit. And especially with the streaming, you might actually end up getting placed in like a big Apple Music or a big Spotify playlist, which is impossible to get into without fucking a lot of money behind you.
No, that's true. Now, Clark Swade's got a question. What about CD Baby, man? Is it worth using CD Baby in 2020?
I don't know enough about CD Baby personally. I've never, done that like any work with them personally. I hear great things. My dad goes to their website a lot and gives me info. My man Rick Chavez does the same. It sounds like a great company. I don't know the deal, but I will say this: DistroKid is fire. I don't know if they do the same thing. I assume they do. DistroKid is fire. I think you pay like money once a year and you get 100% of the fucking mechanical royalties and all that shit, which is cool. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's
no. I think that works. Yeah, I think that answers it. And I'm glad you touched on the DistroKid. And then before we get too wrapped up, like I said, I got 1,000 questions too, but this is great. So Sally Bellaguap 4 was asking, how's working with meth? I love the follow-up, the rapper, not the drug. So how was it? That's, yeah, for real, right? So how was it working with meth, man? Did you get a chance? Were you actually in the studio, or was this kind of kiting sessions back and forth type deal?
Yeah, so that one was I ended up going to the Wu-Tang studio in Shaolin, which was awesome. And I remember my boy, Freddie, he was the A&R at the time for that label that put out that record. And he wanted to have a cigarette while the dude was mixing. And I was like, yeah, I'll go outside with you. And just sidebar. And I remember they were like, a couple Italian kids, whatever, they come up to us. They're like, no, you guys can't go outside because that shit is in the hood still. The Wu-Tang studio is in the fucking hood still, man. Jeez. But like they wouldn't even let us go out. They told us he had to like smoke out the window on the second floor. Like it's like that. So I got the real vibe of the Wu-Tang experience. And as a kid listening, somebody who listens to Wu-Tang since age fucking like 9, you know what I mean? It was a blessing and an incredible experience. Basically, man, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. They couldn't clear the sample for the original joint. For the original song, they couldn't clear the sample. And I've never told this story before. They couldn't clear the sample. Freddie brought me in because he knows I go hella hard with the fucking sample free shit. And I love sampling just as much. And then there's all different hybrids of sample that's not sample. He brought me in to do that, and I bodied that shit 80 times better than the original person who did the beat. No offense to him. And to the point where Raekwon and all them wanted to meet me, and they invited me to the fucking video shoot, which was awesome. And that's it was sick, dude. That shit was fucking nuts. And then again, I met Meth. We chopped it up for a minute. I'm born and raised in Long Island. Brooklyn for 10 years after that, but born and raised in Long Island. And Meth, a Long Island guy himself, we had a good ass talk for a minute. And then Raekwon wanted to meet me, and that's when he was like, yo, you're dope, holy shit. And I was just like, yo, it was just like, and then Inspector Deck, we keep in touch to this day, me and Inspector Deck actually, which is like, this is all like dream shit, like I could die happy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So that's what it was like. It was like insane, man. It was fucking insane. It really was.
That is okay. See, I don't even. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's wonderful, wonderful question though. But I think the meth does beg one of the questions I had earlier. So when you were coming up, because it was like you're kind of at an interesting point, especially as we're talking about New York hip hop, kind of coming out of the golden age, kind of coming into a different age, if you will. I'll leave it at that. I mean, everyone can critique it one way or the other. You know what I mean? Everyone's got something to say about New York hip hop over the last 20 years. Let's be real. But so where do you think you fit into the whole grand scheme of things, as far as where J57 fits into not just necessarily New York hip hop, but hip hop in general?
All right, so I know where I fit in. I think majority of people who do know who I am, I think they don't realize. They have no idea what I'm about to do at all. So in their mind, I'm the brown bag Fat Beats guy or just Jamo Gang or whatever. And that's beautiful. That's what I signed up for when I was in high school, listening to guys like Alaska and who's in here right now. Shouts to him. And fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're the ones who made me want to do this. Literally, I would go to the shows in late 90s, early 2000s in New York City from Long Island. And Tim Alaska was the fucking host, and Aesop Rock and Mr. Liff and fucking Copyright, like all these, whatever. MF Doom, like all these people were performing, and I'm like, I want to do this, and then when we finally got our chance 10 years later as Brown Bag, I was like, everyone and their mother was like, yo, you guys would have been great in the Raucous era, but that was like 10 years prior and all that shit. And then we did what we did sound wise and style wise, and then I still do that shit obviously, but I kind of love the idea of doing whatever I want to do sound wise. So for me, where do I fit in the grand scheme? I'm definitely going to be the first person that could do a lot of different things from the boom bap world and still do boom bap better than people who just do boom bap. Not all of them, but some of them. So that's my goal. That's what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? Fuck around, do some Ariana Grande shit maybe one day. Just got 4 beats over.
Well, that's why I was kind of laughing. I was laughing at myself. And take this the right way. I was like, this dude could be doing like Macklemore type artists. And
G-Eazy just took 4 beats from me yesterday, bro. Fucking G-Eazy just took 4 beats literally 2 days ago. So like, and he knows Brown Bag. That motherfucker knew who Element doesn't even know this. I think I forgot to tell him. He knows who Brown Bag is. You know what I'm saying? G-Eazy knows who Brown Bag is and is like a fan or whatever.
But that's what I'm saying though.
Like that's crazy.
What I mean is like, I'm listening and I just say Macklemore. People say whatever they want about Macklemore. I probably say it too, whatever. But it's that kind of level where it's still the drums are hitting, but it has more of a stadium feel, bro.
It's stadium pop, dude. That stadium sound is my sound for drums. That's my sound. So like, that's why I'm like, I'm gonna do what I do underground. We're gonna do these records, and they're gonna be grimy as fuck. But I'm also gonna do those big ass records. They're gonna hear what I do on the radio. They're gonna, and I'm still gonna. But I'm not gonna leave this world. A lot of people leave this world. I'm not gonna name names, but a lot of the people who I idolize too. Are once they get a taste of that, they don't come back. And we all know the whole list of people. They don't ever. It's a long list. They never come back, dude. And me and being a Fat Beats guy, you got a lot of time at a hip hop store. I remember being at fucking Fat Beats talking with Soulcon and us being like, yo, how whack is it that all these guys that were doing these great records production wise, they're now just doing pop or they're just doing dance or they're just doing this, but they don't even look or talk about hip hop anymore. They don't even look it at all. They don't even look hip hop in the slightest anymore. They don't even make that sound anymore, even for fun. To me, that sounds counterfeit as fuck. You know what I mean? That's like you abandoned the culture that you were a part of, but you really weren't. You were just, it was cool at the time. So for me, this is who I am. This is who I am. I'm fucking hip hop. I'm boom bap. You know what I mean? Did I make a trap beat yesterday? Fuck yeah, I did. Because I could do that too, and I love it. You get what I'm saying? So why would I limit myself if I love all that shit? Why would I limit myself?
Don't limit yourself. And that's the thing. I don't, I think there's a difference between turning your back on something and abandoning something,
right,
versus broadening, your palette and doing more that way. I think it's just
agreed.
The two aren't even in the same, ballpark, really.
I love what you guys are doing, like with 12-bit soul. I love what you guys are doing with the sound. You know what I mean? Because I got packs from you that are R&B. I have packs from you that are fucking Tame Impala sounding. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different ends of the spectrum of sound. So, like, for me, that's what it's about. Never limit yourself. Clark said it best.
Yes, Clark. But and that's another thing too. I appreciate what you did with those sounds. I'm looking forward to hearing when you do get that record back.
Oh, Nick Caution. Yeah, that was with the homie Nick Caution from Pro Era. We got a joint. Yep. I'll let you know.
I look forward to just hearing. I look forward to just hearing the finished record, because I like what you did with the sounds we gave you. That was definitely.
The sounds made it too. Your sounds made it too easy. So thank you.
Oh man, come on, flattery will get you everywhere. But no, okay, man. So Jamo Gang, we got to talk Jamo Gang. Record comes out, coronavirus comes out. Unfortunately, but I mean, it's what I'm saying is, it's like there's a lot of good music coming out. It's just, I know a lot of you guys can't get out and tour it and promote it the same way that you guys did. So how is everything that's going on affecting the record? Are more people buying it? Are more people, streaming it? What's going on in this climate? So artists can kind of maybe take note or adjust their course in their own lives.
No, I appreciate that, because I'd love to help anybody that I could. With us, our album was supposed to come out in April, and we got an email in like early March from Fat Beats being like, yo, what do you think about pushing this back to May? Because of what's obviously going on. And we were like, yo, that makes a lot of sense. When May came around, we got a little shook. I was like, we're about to drop the video. We were about to drop the single with Premiere and Slug, from Atmosphere. We were about to do all that.
Yep.
And I got a little shook. I was calling El Gant, and I was like, yo, what should we hold off? Should we push this shit back to June, July? Like, what do you think? And he goes, yo, I just talked to Premiere. He's like, yo, now is the time for Jamo Gang. He's like, now's the time. He's like, shit is hot for you guys. People are glued to their fucking phone. Attack right now. And I was like, yo, the GOAT speaks. I listen. Let's go.
There you go.
Pull the trigger on that shit. We dropped the single. Then we dropped the fucking video. Then we dropped the album. And I'll tell you right now, that shit worked. And I got to say, we had a song featuring DJ Premier and Slug. So like that is, that's as good as it gets to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
That helps a lot of it. And definitely the biggest record I've released to date. So yeah, man, like that shit worked for us because of the formula, the timing, the whole nine. It could have been a fucking disaster, but it wasn't. And I thank the universe for that. I do think a lot of artists should put out music right now. I think with everything that's going on, in the fucking, all the crazy shit, it's like be a little tasteful about it. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was going to drop an EP today where I rap on my own beats, and I decided not to, because again, I don't have anything song-wise about what's going on in the country and all that. Like we do Francis Scott Key on the Jamo Gang album. That song is about that. Yep. Shouts to PJ Katz, who co-produced it. He just joined right now. Long story short, man, I don't really make that kind of music myself. So I didn't want to drop anything like that right now. But I think if you have music that's tasteful for right now, what's going on and everything, it needs to come out now. That's a great thing. If not, I really think people should hold off a little bit. That's just my feeling about it. Because if you're just going to be on some lyrical miracle shit or some really great catchy song shit, that's awesome and that is needed. But at the same time, how does that look when you're like, look at me, tell me how great I am, tell me how great my album is. Well, you're hearing about another person dying every fucking day over some dumb shit.
There's
these fucked up people. You know what I mean? So I just think right now is not the time to drop a lot of shit. But I think you could push it off a little bit. Like, again, I'm getting away with dropping little instrumental records here and there. I don't mean little like they're little. I just mean like, it's not a J57 album where I have to do the big rollout and I do all this shit. And I got, calling favors from homies for features or whatever the fuck. I think you could do it tastefully. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I think, in our, Sally's been chiming in, Bella Glock, and she makes a good point though, man. I mean, I think if the music is genuine, the music is dope, I think there's still there's a fertile ground for that seed to fall on. You know what I'm saying? I don't think necessarily everything has to have a conscious message right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I think more needs to have a genuine conscious ring to it. I think that conscious, those overtones have been missing in hip hop for a couple of decades, quite frankly.
Right.
But I'm saying you still have genuine music. I think there's still, I think the audience wants to hear that stuff.
I feel that. I mean, I feel like the audience does want to. I think about that all the time where I talk to people where they're like, yo, there's no music coming out right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're mad about that shit. They need it. and they need it. So like that's why I felt like at the time when we dropped all the Jamo Gang shit, it made a lot of sense, and it was super fine to do it. I think we're in the tail end of a time where it's like, be careful with releasing stuff. Be just like be tasteful about it. That kind of shit. There's no rules. You know what I'm saying? But like, just think about that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of
that's true. And like my buddy Pat chimed in too, talking about how radio pop has suffered more in COVID than good indie shit, and I think that's very true. I think the indie stuff, it's able to pivot better and faster in these markets. Where that pop music is like the damn Titanic sailing toward the iceberg, and they see it, but they can't turn the fucking ship fast enough. So, I mean, but whereas indie artists, I think that's the flexibility so when people say there isn't music out there, I kind of cringe when I hear that a little bit, and I know you do too, because if you just look a little bit, just even allow your streaming service to provide the algorithms for you.
Right.
There is music out there that the math is saying, I think you'll like this. So just listen to shit. Just open your eyes, do a little bit of a search, and there's so much music. There really is so much music out there. And there's good stuff. There really, truthfully is. Speaking of good music that's unreleased, and I'm trying to be as ambiguous as possible with this. There's a certain Brown Bag All-Star album that hasn't been released.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we can talk.
Okay. See, this is, I felt like it's kind of like we're wading into the pool. Like I don't want to dive in. So
I appreciate that. I respect it.
My pleasure. So make sure so talk to people about this album. I mean, it's a Brown Bag All-Star album featuring one of my favorite all-time MCs on it. So why don't you expound on that a little bit more?
Oh man, it's a fucking honor to even say this. So Bumpy Knuckles, Freddie Fox, reached out to all of the members of Brown Bag All-Stars back in 2014 and was like, yo, I love you guys. Like, let's do an album. And we did it. We made an album. We fine-tuned it in 2017 and 2018. But we made a full album, dude. It's mixed. It's going to get mastered soon. Bumpy Knuckles versus Brown Bag All-Stars, I guess you could call it, or whatever. It's mostly Audible Doctor production, which I think is a good move because he makes those type of head nodder beats that the Bumpy, Gangstar Foundation fans are going to love. Don't get me wrong, Element and I do too. That's not a shot at us in the goddamn slightest. Element's all over there, skating all over the place, like crazy scratches, incredible, DJ fucking turntablism. I'm over there. I'm vocally all over the whole thing. I wrote and performed the majority of the hooks, or I did a lot of them with Bumpy. And I think I'm on almost every single song rapping. Audible Doctor too. Soulcon's on the majority of it too. Like it's a family event and a family affair. And man, I'll tell you, like, I want that shit to come out so bad this year. I hope it does, but it might be a next year situation. I'm not really sure. Okay. We're just working out the politics. There's a lot of labels that are interested, which is cool, but we're just not sure like what the best home is. You know what I mean? For what we're trying to do to make sure that they do it properly.
Okay. Yeah, I know people would like to. It's always nice to hear about upcoming music, especially something, I mean, Brown Bag and Bumpy Knucks.
Yeah, dude, it's so hip hop, but like so modern at the same time, like our style of modern hip hop that we all do separately or whatever. Yeah, it's dope, man. It's really just like I listen to it all the time because I'm like, yo, it's just so cool to hear all of us again together and Element with the cuts, and then Bumpy's on there too, and he's bigging us up on every fucking song. And I don't know, man, it's gonna hit when it comes out. It's gonna hit really hard. People are gonna see that shit.
No, now that's dope. Now, are you able to discuss what you're currently working on?
Yeah. Right now, just my solo shit for the first time ever. I've never just worked on my shit alone. That's it. Never done that. 20 years of MCing, fucking 17 years of being a producer. I've never just worked on solo shit at one time. It's always been the back burner passion project while I work on everybody else's or these collaborative projects. But that's what I'm doing now. I'm just working on my shit.
So that's why you've been holed up doing what you're doing.
going in. I'm still making a lot of beats. I'm still sending them to A&Rs at majors. I'm still, doing shit like that. But all my indie stuff, I got albums and albums and albums of collaborative albums, records with people where I'm a producer and they're an MC, or even with me and Element, I'm the MC and he's the producer for our album that's done. Shrimp. I got a lot of albums that are gonna come out one day, but right now it's just my shit.
Yeah. Yes, and See, I had to drop the shrimp, the bad signal for the shrimp. Like I said, anytime me and Jay do that in our text, it's like we know it's time for shrimp night. So
good.
And it's definitely time for shrimp night soon, dude. But hey, man, I appreciate your time tonight, bro. As always,
yours, brother. Yo, you're the man. I miss you, man. We was a good ass time, but we'll be chilling again.
Miss you too. And like I said, when things kind of calm down, we'll definitely get back situation normal. All right, bro.
Oh, sounds like a plan. You know the number.
Shout out to everybody tuning in tonight. Good looking out.
Thank you, guys.
Support Jamo Gang. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a blessed evening. All right, y'all take care.
Peace, yo.